Today's video, we're going to be trying out the brand new color black eyeshadow palettes from Huda Beauty. I'm so excited to try these out. A little bit unique, so I'm excited to see how they perform on the eyes. I'll show you guys swatches and go over the entire collection. I've got the mascara and everything else she's launching with this, so let's go ahead and dive in. So excited for these guys arriving today from Huda Beauty. She just announced this yesterday, so brand new. These are going to come out on April 19th. I will have links and everything down below if you want to check that out. She is extending her Obsession line with two new palettes. These are called the Color Black Obsession palettes. I love her Obsession palettes. They're some of my favorites in my collection. Her last, I believe that was the last launch with the Obsessions, was like the animal themes, like the jaguar, the tiger. Those ones were really, really good. So I have high hopes for these ones here. So packaging, very cute on these. They're actually like raised. So this is like a, I guess like a silicone almost, like you can literally feel it. Kind of satisfying. But here is a look at the first one. So this one is like the orange color story, purple, and then you have the blue and like neon green one there as well. So very cute packaging on these. I believe they're going to retail for the regular price, which I think is $29. Yes, $29. It does say here that they will be available on Huda Beauty as well as Sephora. So like I said, I'll have those linked as soon as I can for you guys. And then also with this collection, she is launching some brushes as well. So these are the Color Black brushes. So this is a 3-piece brush set to go with the collection, as well as a new mascara. So this is her new Legit Lashes Blue Mascara. So if you are into color mascara, we're going to try this one out as well. So I know you guys are dying to see the inside of these, so let me show you. So this one is the orange and purple Color Black, and here is a look at that inside there. So she does have the cake liners in here. So this is a new formula for her. They are a cake liner essentially. I can't say I'm too familiar with how that works, so I'm excited to try it out. But it is just a liner that I believe you get wet and then it does activate, so you can use that. And then there's also these split pans in here. So we now have these two, I was waiting for my camera to focus there, but we now have these two like split pans there. I'm not sure how I personally feel about that. I want to put my brush in them and kind of see, but the actual finishes on here are cool. She has some of her little like, you know, sparkly pans and stuff. She always does such a good job with her palettes. Killed it on this packaging for sure. And then let me show you guys the blue one. So this one is called the Blue and Green Color Black. So very easy to remember the names on there. And then this is a look at the inside of this one. So again, really cool colors, lots of blues. And you do have that cake liner shade here at the top in that one. And then you have that one on the side with the two shades. So I am going to swatch these so you guys can see what they look like swatched. And then we'll get into trying them out on the eyes. Okay, so here are swatches of both of the palettes. They swatched really, really beautifully. I didn't swatch the cake shadows or the cake liners yet, so we'll have to just try those ones out on the eyes, but they really swatched really nicely. There's a nice color variety in here. I also think these two palettes together would complement each other really nicely. I also was able to get my fingers into those split pans, so if you were wanting to just use your fingers with those, you could get them in. Here is the split pan right here for the purple and orange palette, and then this is the split pan right here for the blue palette. So those actually have a little bit more of like a metallic finish than the other shimmers in the palette. So very, very intrigued to try these out in the eyes. We're gonna do one on each eye. I don't have anywhere to go, so we're just gonna try them both out today and see if we can't get some fun looks with them, and then we'll try out the blue mascara as well. All right, I've got you all zoomed up so you guys can really see the palettes at work here. As always, CoverGirl Undercover Concealer. I am almost out of this one actually. It's my favorite for prepping for eyeshadows. I just feel like it gives me a really smooth base, and I like how this shade is a little bit lighter than my complexion, so I really feel like it makes the shadows pop. Okay, so we're first gonna start with the orange and purple palette, and I'm actually gonna start in like this little terracotta shade here in the corner, and I'm just gonna start to pop this on my eye and use this more as just like my base. Ooh, we got pigment off the bat, which is always a good thing. I've always enjoyed the formula of her Obsessions palettes. I feel like they work really well, and I like the price point and the amount of shades that you get in here. With these ones though, you are getting a little bit extra with those double pans. So like I said, if they don't bother you and you can get your finger in there or your brush in there, it's kind of nice to get like an extra shade to work with. So I'm really just kind of focusing this just in like this higher crease right here. Just placing it, and then I'm going to start to blend. So I'm going to kind of go for like more of that lifted shape, I think. So now that I've got that on there, I'm going to go ahead and build that up a little bit. We're going to go into the deeper orange shade, and this one's like seems like it's going to be a little bit more neon. Yeah, very bright. Okay, so I'm going to focus this just right here. I'm doing like very light pressure on my brush because I don't want this to get out of hand. The brush that I'm using, this is a MAC 234 brush. It's been a while since I've used a MAC brush. I didn't realize that's what this was, but very light pressure here. When I apply that, I've got something going on there. I used a new eyebrow gel today, and I feel like my eyebrows literally feel like glue. So now I want to grab some of that purple shade, and I'm going to grab this on a Juno brush and kind of pack this all over my lid because we're going to try out the purples and of course the oranges, kind of marry the two. I don't think these are colors like I put together often, like purples and oranges, so I kind of think it's a fun color story. I wouldn't have personally put those together myself, but I feel like all the looks I've seen Huda posting, it looks really good together, like even that. Like I wouldn't think to put those colors together. Purple seems very pigmented for a purple. Sometimes they're a little bit harder, and since it is a little bit more pastel, it seems to be going on really nicely. Okay, now we've got those brushes. I didn't get the chance to show you guys close-ups of them, so let me show you now. So there are 3 of the liner brushes. They are very precise. Like if you are into precise like detail work, these are going to be like very, very precise brushes. I was going to use it to pack on my color, but I think they're too tiny for that. Like those are just going to be for like the cake liners. They're very, very small brushes. So I'm just going to use my finger, I think. So we're going to go into that middle like little split pan, and we're going to use the orange first for, I can show you guys. So like my fingers are pretty fat and I can fit it in there. So that's what I was worried about when I saw the promo pictures. I was like, I don't know how I feel about the split pans. Like I wasn't crazy about it at first, but if my fingers can fit, then I feel like it's fine. You just have to be a little bit more careful, obviously, when you're reaching into it because you don't want to like smear the two together. So my idea was to focus this like portion on the orange, and then to go in with the purple and kind of focus that a little bit more in this area. Just to kind of add a little bit of shimmer. I honestly just feel like I wish I could like dig in there further though, because I feel like I'm really restricted. Let me see if I can dig a little more, but those split pans like that, I feel like you're kind of, you have to be a lot more careful. Okay, so we added just a little bit of shimmer. I don't know that I was blown away with those initially, but let's go ahead now and add, I was thinking I want to go in the liner, but I think I want to add a little bit more purple just to try this out. So let's do this color. Now when I swatched this one, it seemed more or less like a topper almost, because it didn't really have a ton of like pigment to it. Yeah, I think it's a little bit more of like one of those topper shades. So go ahead and apply that over top of the purple just to like deepen it up a little bit. So I did go ahead and add a little bit of spray to the cake liner in this palette, and we're gonna try it out. We'll see what I think of it. I haven't really used a formula like this before, so I'm not sure how it's gonna work for me, but I just added some water, so that should like activate the liner. I believe that's how you use it. So I'm just coating my brush here, and then we're just gonna try to do like a purple wing, I think. So I'm going to start here in the outer corner. Okay, that's definitely pigmented, and I don't think that that's hard. I've used comparing, I think, similar formulas is like the Suva Beauty ones, I think is what it's called, and those ones are really like liquidy. I feel like this one kind of like I've already, like you can see where I sprayed, and it's already kind of starting to dry, so I do think they're going to be easier to work with than some of the other like liners that you have to spray. Just based upon the fact that it's not seeming so like wet. I think it'll give you more control. Very cute, okay. Not sure how to feel about this either. I'm gonna see how it dries down. But so far, I actually think the formula feels pretty creamy. And this brush is making it really precise to use. This is the Artist eyeliner brush. I think this eye look looks really pretty. The liner looks really good. I'm actually really surprised. I'm gonna do lower lash now. I'm gonna go into this mustard color here and do a little bit of something on the lower lash line. Adding a little bit of the purple now. I'm gonna kind of try to marry that a little bit with the wing I created. Okay, so there's what I'm gonna leave that eye. I think it looks really good. Let's go ahead and move over to the blue palette, because I'm really excited to try this one. You guys know I love, love, love blues. So this is what I'm like really excited to try. All right, so for this one, looking at it, my eyes are like kind of going towards like these greens down here. And then I also obviously wanna play with the blues. So I think first I'm gonna start with this like neon yellow green shade. And we're gonna use that first in the crease. See how that kind of works as our first color. So with this color, I would definitely recommend packing it instead of like doing the swiping motion, because when I am doing that, it's kind of just like powdery. Like you see how it's like kind of kicking up. So I would recommend kind of like packing this one just because it is such a like pastel color. I think that that would be what would work best, but it's pretty pigmented. All right, so once you've got that down, I'm gonna move into that green over here in the corner, and I want to layer that on top of this yellow just to kind of create a fun pop there of like neon green as well. Kind of with the same thing, I'm gonna kind of pack this as well. I'm so curious to see once we're done here, like which side I end up liking better. I definitely think they have different vibes. I'm curious to see which palette you guys like as well. That's really cool. Like the fade there is really neat. So now let's bring in a little bit of that like aqua blue. I'm just gonna keep with the same brush for now, and we're gonna bring a little bit of that in as well. I am loving the contrast of these colors. I feel like it's so fun. I'm gonna dip back into the green a little bit just to add a little bit more of that over here. All right, and then we're gonna go in that split pan again. I'm gonna grab this blue from that side. I'm just gonna pack it on the first portion of the lid. I feel like that looks really glittery and pretty. And then let's actually grab this glitter here and add that like blue side over to this area here. So now we built that one up a little bit. I will say that these shimmers, like these are very like foiled type of shades. Like you can see the swatch there, they're very foiled, but I think layering them over top of these like such like powdery mattes, like they're kind of powdery, I don't think they're giving it like the full opacity. So for that reason, I feel like it might be a little bit harder to get some of those shimmers to like really pop. You might have to wet your brush a little bit more, because even on this side, like I do feel like they're looking a little bit subdued. And I feel like they shouldn't be for like the swatches they're giving off. Like they look really metallic. So I do think it's just like these mattes are so powdery that I don't think they're like layering the best. So I don't know if it's gonna be one that I'm gonna have to go in like with some other mattes maybe first, or like I said, maybe wet my brush. Why don't we try that? Let me wet the brush and see if that makes a difference. I'll take it on this packing brush and I'll kind of use this blue, and then we'll wet it and see if that kind of gives it a little bit more of a metallic look, maybe using a brush instead of my finger, because I feel like with my finger I'm losing some of the, yeah, okay, that looks way more metallic with my brush. It's not as metallic though as the swatch, but it definitely looks more oomph than it did with my finger there. So you can tell it brought a little bit of something, but I do still feel like it's not as metallic, I think, as I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna add a little bit here to the lower lash. And I did get a little bit more fallout with this palette than the other one, but it's not bad. I'm just gonna kind of dust that away. And then let's try out this cake liner. This one looks like such a cool color. And then for this one, I'm gonna use this tiny brush. This is the smudge liner brush. And we'll use that one for this other wing. So again, I'm just gonna pack quite a bit of product on here. I'll let it dry just a second because it seems kind of wet. And then, whoops, wrong eye. We're gonna start, I think I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna start on the outer portion here. Flick that out and then kind of work our way in. I do think she has something with this like liner. I've never been able to use these type of liners before, so I do think she has something with this formula. It just seems so creamy, like so easy to use. Even seems creamier than like a gel liner. I just feel like it's gliding so easily, but it's dried down. Like I can tell on this purple side, like it's not going anywhere, like it's already dried, which is really nice. So it's gonna last, I feel like, pretty good. That is such a cool color. I feel like that's very unique to like my liners. I don't think I have anything like that. I do feel like I made a bigger wing on this side than I did on this side. It's a little bit more of a baby wing. I think the brush had something to do with that, but it's a really cool liner color. I honestly think that on its own would be such just a fun pop if you just had like, you know, like a bold lash maybe and just like this liner. I think it would look so cool. I am gonna bring a little bit of this blue here in the corner just to the lower lash line here as well. Just add a little bit more blue, and then let's try out the blue mascara here. We're gonna try it on this side, I think. This is her Legit lashes. Now this is like a mini, I think. I don't know if it comes in a full size or they just sent me the mini, but this is like a smaller little size of it. And then they also sent a mini of their quick and easy life liner, so that also comes in a mini as well. So if you wanted to do a winged liner, you can get that in a mini now, but here's how small it is. And then let's go ahead and do this. So there's two sides to this mascara if you haven't tried it out before. They have like a lengthening side and then also a volumizing side. So I'm first gonna go ahead and start. Now I did apply some clear mascara. I was doing like a little TikTok video with a clear mascara from Physicians Formula. It did make my lashes a little bit clumpy, so hopefully this still goes on okay. color is definitely cool, this color mascara. So I've got that first like coat on. I'm going to actually add this to the lower lash as well. And then let's go ahead and go to the other side. So now I'm going to tap that with the other side of the mascara. Here's that one if you haven't seen it before. Okay, and then the other side, I'm just going to use her regular Legit Lashes mascara on this side. So here is both of the eyes finished. I have to say I really like them both for different reasons. I think that they both have a lot of uniqueness, a lot of depth in both of them too. I kind of am digging this blue mascara, but I think that the liners are really the star of the show. They really worked so well. I'm very surprised. All zoomed out and time to get into my final thoughts on the Color Block palettes from Huda Beauty. So I feel like these palettes are very unique color stories to my collection. Do I have these colors in other palettes? I'm sure I do, but I don't have them in like one palette together. And these aren't necessarily colors I would have thought to put together either. Definitely not like with the purples and the oranges. It's not something I regularly do. That being said, I don't think that these are necessarily going to be essential palettes for me. I don't think they're ones I'm going to reach into all the time by any means, but if I want to create a fun look, I think that these are really cool. I think she did a good job with the formula of them. I just think that it's going to be kind of up to you how you feel about the way that the shimmers do perform over these mattes. I liked the mattes a lot. I thought they were really nice for being such like neon pastel colors. I think they worked really well. You just kind of have to make sure to pat those on, but the vibrance was definitely there in the pigmentation. I feel like they worked really well on the eyes. The shimmers didn't, I feel like, go over them as well as I'd hope they would because they do look so metallic in these swatches. I'm very curious to try them out like with another palette maybe, and see how they do perform with like a typical matte, just because I do think that these more like pressed, I think these are pressed pigments. I have to look on the back, but I think just based upon the formulation of these, I feel like they feel like a little bit more like pressed pigments, and they're a little bit harder to layer on top of. But I do think the star, like I said, of the show is these liners. I think it's so good. I think she needs to come out with these maybe in like their own formula, not just in palettes, or definitely keep these in her palettes because I really like it. I could see these doing really well in her larger palettes, like if she puts a couple of cake colors in those. I would really, really like that because I think they were so easy to use. The wings look amazing. Very curious to see how they last throughout the day, but they dried down like really nicely. So like they're not budging right now. So very curious to see on that. I love the eye looks. I think they both turned out really pretty, really cute. So I'm curious to get your guys' opinion on this. I really liked the blue mascara too. I don't know that I'll wear it all the time, but it's kind of fun for a different moment. Also the brushes, all three, I used 2 of the 3 brushes and I thought they were really nice for the liner. Very precise. So if you're into precision work, you might like these a lot. I'll definitely continue to use them with the liners for sure. Know what you guys think down below, which I do prefer. Do you like the purples and the oranges, or are you more into the greens and the blues? I'd love to know in the comment section. Thank you as always for watching. I hope you give this video a thumbs up if you did find value in it. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see you very soon with a brand new video. Bye.